This is going to be a best of 5 series between Prinz and Jerimuno. It is Group A, and I think this is determine who will become third and who would become fourth in the group. So this is for $50 basically. So yeah, let's get right into it, into game one. So yeah, both of these players are well matched, I think. Like, Jay was seed 4 and Prinz was seed 3. You could argue that either player could be even seed 2, so I think they're very well matched players. So for the first game, we have Jerry in the southwest part of the map playing as Brit, and we have Prinz playing Houdanaise, aka Haudenosaunee, aka Iroquois, in the northeast of the map. Quite a solid Civ pick from both of them actually. You wouldn't think Brit is quite a good Civ on this map, but it's a good Civ versus Iro or Houdanaise, so I do respect his pick here. Prinz just going Iro because it's just a solid pick on this map overall. I think it's one of the best Civs, if not the best Civ to go for. So, game sounds a bit loud. I can fix that. My apologies. Yes. Hopefully that's a lot better. Anyway, so we're just going to see them race out for Yaks. We see Jerry getting 75 wood, so he's going to chop for a third mana. And he's probably going to start herding that hunt immediately, which is going to be really nice for him. So he's probably going to not even age a Vil later, he's just going to have an extra Vil. And we see Prinz scouting with the Discovery Travois, so he's not going for that dock start. And he's getting this 80 wood. And it looks like he's chopping for a TP. So he's going to chop 20 wood. Use the Discovery Travois on a house, and then he's just going to build a TP with this hero. So that's a good start for him as well, but I would have preferred the dock start on this type of map, personally. So if we check the decks, Prinz he hasn't picked one yet. I need to speed it up and then slow it down, because then I think it goes to normal speed. If we check Jerry's deck, neither of them picks a deck yet. We can go to Jerry's Fog of War. He's just gone up here, scouted 2 Yaks, got a 75 wood, and now he's dipped down to the middle to try and get more Yaks, but it's unlikely. Although he's found one over here, so he's going to try and get that one. Using 2 Vils to herd is not ideal, but if he just finished the mana here, it makes sense. That's a 150 coin, but it's hardly likely Iro will get that, because he's just going to put a forward war hut on this sort of vicinity and then just take it with this H2 units. I don't think they can contest it in Colonial. Discovery. Exploration Age. Sorry, it's been changed. So we see 5 Yaks from Prinz, and we see just 2 from Jerry. Prinz is now building that top TP in the corner of the map. And he's also come across 75 coin. Yep. And he's also got 65 coin there as well. So he doesn't have to mine anything for hunting dogs. He doesn't have to build the marketplace to even mine coin. So that's going to be nice for him. Meanwhile, Jerry's just sending 3 Vil. He just has a boat deck. He's just got a standard land deck, but with the 2 warship cards, which makes sense versus Iro on this type of map, because he could potentially build a dock. Prinz has gone full, I assume this means land, or I don't know. Just in case you didn't know, he's got his name, he's got Finland or Finnish in his name, just in case you wanted to know what his nationality was. So thank you, Prinz. He's going up with 15 Vils, but I'd honestly just cut this Vil and age up with the Yaks and go 14 Vils. It would be so much more better for any sort of build he wants to try, whether it be an FF or some sort of H2 play. So he's just going to age a Vil later, which is unnecessary. Jerry is aging 18 Vils. If you consider he built 3 manas, he's aging 1 Vil earlier, despite chopping for the extra mana slightly. So he's up at a really fast time. He clicked up at like 240 or something, or 245, which is just really good considering you've got like 40 mana pop already. Meanwhile, Prinz is aging up with 15 Vils with the Wise Woman, which gives you 200 food, 100 wood, 100 coin. and a travois, so he's going to probably use that on a forward warheart, I assume. And he's now getting the 65 coin as well. In transition, he's just gathering food. It doesn't look like he'll go for the market just yet, which I'm not a big fan of, but we'll come back to that if he does decide to do that. Jerry dropping down a really good mana here for line of sight. He's doing a really good job herding all of these hunts, so he's not going to run out of food anytime soon. And he's also got a few... He's got 6 yaks with this one, so he's got a decent amount of food available to him. Sorry for the tutting, it's a bad habit. This seems to be playing at a very slow pace. I'm not really sure why. I'm going to put it on this one for the H1. It doesn't seem like it's going like... It's only slightly fast. Yeah. So if we turn the fog of war off, Jerry's just scouting around the map, see if he can pick any other treasures up to like help him get a better batch in H2 whilst getting steel traps, for example, or just more manas in general. He's already got 6 mana pot, well, it'll be 70 pot, but it'll be 6 manas. And he's also stacking wood for a barracks, because it's always safe to build a barracks upon age up against hero. And, well, it could have been a stable as well, but he goes for the barracks opening, and he's put an outpost towards the front of his base, covering this mine. I would have preferred it here, but it's not a big deal. Just make sure your wood line is safe at the same time. And now he's getting this 75 food treasure. And that's going to help him out as well to get that first batch, maybe greatcoats. He doesn't have a market just yet, but he probably will add one with the 700 wood. And he's starting musketeers, which is quite a solid opening. We see Prinz looks like he's going for a fast fortress, so he's going to go straight to fortress, but shipping crates first. So that's why he hasn't gone the market. He's just gathered food and coin in transition. He got all those coin treasures, the 65 and the 75. And he's just going to go straight to H3 with these crates. And he's probably going to follow up with, 5 vils. And he's going to be up to fortress incredibly quickly. So I think Jerry scouted this. Oh no, he didn't. Okay. But I think he assumes that Prinz is going H3, but he sees this forward warheart and he's just like, okay, I'm going to back off. Which is actually quite a nice bluff. It's quite risky, but it was a nice bluff. So he's going to age up to H3 now. He should be in the axe now as well to just make sure you have no idle time. It's all about tempo if you go for this sort of aggressive FF play. And he will have a shipment when he ages up, and he's aging up with the messenger. And in transition, I'd actually train some Aenas, because first of all, they're quite cheap. And second of all, you just saw him start musketeers, so if he's going for like... If he sees you age up, you can just send like 20 musketeers and kill your warheart before you get anything out. And 5 Aenas sort of stop that with the hero crack shot. We can go back to Jerry's perspective, and yeah, here we go. So this is quite a nice timing, right? He knows he's FFing, or he's a spec 6. It's 6:30 and he sees no units. So he's just going to push and see what's up. So he goes 700 wood, 700 coin, gets 5 hus, gets 15 musk, or 13 to be more specific. And he's just going to go burn down this warheart for free. And there's nothing Prinz can do about it, and he's going to rebuild 1 in base. So yeah, if we go to Jerry's vil count, he's on 30, he's shipping 5 vils behind it. This is a really smart play, and he's getting this 150 coin that I mentioned earlier, so he's going to age up after that, whilst getting more map control back. So I'd say Brit is in a very good position here. Ideally, Prinz would have to get like the big button tomahawks and 5 Aenas to hold that sort of push, so... And Prinz can't scout, otherwise he loses his heroes, so it's quite hard for him to adapt properly to what Brit would do. Anyway, so we see Brit stacking to age up. He's getting steel traps in queue. He got the 150 coin, and he's no longer training units, so he's just got map control back, and then he's just going to age up. And I think this is actually quite a good decision, because there's only like 10 units on the field that can punish him. Prinz has got to do a really good job of poking as many units as possible, vils and stuff like that, to get any damage done. And we see 8 force prowlers now. If Brit clicks up, he needs to start adding longbows as soon as possible. And you can see him queuing one now, so he's got one in queue. He can even call Minutemen to fend off any Forest Prowler Musket Rider push, so he's got a bit of time to get a longer mass going. So we see 5 Prowlers, 5 Musket Riders. Yeah, the Prince realises he just can't push into that. He has no idea if Brit is staying H2 or not, so he can't commit just yet. And we see him actually chopping wood for a stable. And yeah, this is the problem with no dock hero and no TP line hero. You just have really low eco, and you've really got to make something happen as soon as possible. It looks like he might be stacking for cures, or he's just macroing from musket riders, which makes sense. So yeah, he's going to go for a push now, I suspect, once he gets 5 more musket riders, so he can't get surprised by Huss. And we're going to see if he can make something happen, because he has to at this point. If we go to Jerry's perspective, he's got 10 longbows out, 13 musketeers and 5 Huss, so he hasn't lost a single unit this game and just got a war hut for free and aged up. In the meantime, he's got 40 Vils. He's probably aging up with the Adventurer, which is the 7 longbow age up, and that's just going to hold any sort of push, I think, if Prinz wants to commit. So we see the 7 longbowmen here, we got the 14 longbowmen here, and he just needs veteran longbow. He's losing a Vil, shipping Falcons and calling Minutemen, which is what I like. The Minutemen are just here to buy time, basically, whilst he can get veteran techs and the Falcons out. And yeah, Prinz is going to struggle to do any sort of damage. And you can see Jerry's got literally all the relevant market upgrades. He's even got gang saw, hunting dogs, great coats, placer mines, and steel traps, which is really good. And he's even dropping a second barracks down. Might be going into longbow musk. Versus Hero, I'm not a big fan of musks unless you go for artillery heavy compositions like musketeer falconet, go full GUA. But yeah, he's going goons, so he's going to go for a mass longbow goon sort of composition, which is the composition I like versus Zero. Oh, he's going veteran muskets as well. Okay. He's making more, so he just knows he has to cover these Falcons from any sort of cures or 6 Kanyas like this one, like this shipment coming on the way. This could have been cures as well if he macroed for them, but either way, he still needs anti-cav versus whatever hero would ship. So he's going double anti-cav like goons plus musketeers. Are we going to get a good volley? No, not quite. So he pull tricked them away nicely. Make sure he didn't take a single volley. And this hero is quite low HP. So what I do with the hero, as longbows have setup animation, you can just get your crack shot off, lose him, and then dance him back for max HP. And we see Elite Kanya Horseman is in, but he's only got 6 of them. He's probably going to wait for 5 more, and then he's probably going to go in with more musket riders as well, this batch as well. Big Man Shell is just recovering HP right now. And yeah, let's turn the Fog of War off. Okay, play this a bit more slower, because... So yeah, he's shipping 9 musketeers, and he shipped them to the tower. So he has a total of 30 musketeers, 20 longbow, 3 dragoons, and 4 hussars. So he's got a nice balanced composition. So he can't be surprised by anything in particular, and he sees this massive score lead as well. So he just knows he's got a massive eco advantage. So the time is in his favour with his 50 Vil eco, and he's still got potential to build 4 more manas. So. Here come more musket riders crossing the map. I wonder who reacts first. Okay, Prinz does. He's just going to take shots at the falconet. It's actually not a bad idea because Jerry still hasn't reacted and the Falcon's half HP. Big fight coming in. Big volleys on the Forest Prowlers. The hero's not in the fight at all. Both cannons go down quite easily. But there's just more like core army for Jerry than Prinz. But Prinz has got the stronger units for sure. So he really needs to get his HP buffer in the fight. That is 10%, and he can get the crack shot off on low HP units. So it's going to be really important for him to do so. And yeah, he can trade really well against these longbows and muskets. But okay, here comes his hero now. Like, it's huge that he wasn't here before, but he's going to try and get a crack shot off on the musketeers. And Forest Prowlers just get so much stronger with the hero aura. He's got a crack shot on. He keeps cancelling it accidentally, but he's going to lose it now to the longbow. Here come 5 Kanya Horsemen, but Jerry's got way too much anti-cav for them to do any impact. And yeah, he's got like 6 goons. He's going to have like 35 muskets, or 33. And he's even shipping 5 Huss, and Prinz is probably not going to make any more musket riders. Never mind, he is. Okay. I'd probably go like Kanya Forest Prowl at this point, because it's just a direct counter combo to that. Because Brit doesn't have any Huss right now, and Kanya Horsemen are actually really good. But you can just see like the eco difference. You'll see in the graph at the end of the game as well. Like the Brit eco is just taking off, whilst Ero's still on 36 vils, and yeah, it's just not ideal. He hasn't even got stagecoach or anything like that, and Brit have steel traps, so Brit are just gathering more efficiently. So he's trying to pressure the hunts, which is the right decision, but it's just hard to do so. If we look at his fog of war, we can just see longbows in a choke between trees and the native post. He just doesn't really want to fight there, even though he kind of has to. And I wonder if he's going to build a fire pit to dance back his hero. He might not do. And he's shipping the crates now, just to get maybe even 2 war hut production going, another tribal marketplace going down. And we see Kanya Horsemen in queue again, which I think is the right decision, even though there's so many musketeers and dragoons. Like, they tank so much. They got 30% range resist compared to the Hussars 20. So, and with that tank with Forest Prowlers behind, then you kind of just, it snowballs a lot. 1 musket and 1 Vil for 1 Forest Prowler, 2 Forest Prowler. That's the problem with longbows. If you try and retreat versus them, you're just going to get more damage done to your army. So we see a community plaza coming down now. So he's either going to go for attack dance, or he's going to dance for his war chief back and then go for attack dance, because he needs to win a fight at some point. Otherwise he's just gonna lose. So he's dancing for his war chief back, which is nice. He doesn't really want to fight before that guy's up. So yeah, longbow's just getting good DPS. One of them low HP, the other one goes down. And yeah, so the war chief's back. He's going to attack dance now with 15 vils. Turn the fog of war off, play it slowly. And he's got a sizable Kanya Horseman mass. He's got 10 of them. And we see Jerry doesn't have Vet Hussar yet, so we've got the Musket Riders on the good side. These 2 or 3 vils are tanking really nicely, just 1 full Forest Prowler volley. But yeah, the Kanya Horsemen are in a really good position, but there's just not enough stuff for Prinz. The Forest Prowler sort of needs to come around this side and start targeting Musketeers a bit more. And now he's just got to kite his way out over these veteran Hussars, because he's got no more block. He's got 2 Kanya Horsemen blocking, but it's not enough. But yeah, it's just down to the strength of the Brit eco. His Vil count hasn't increased much at all, but he's just had, it's the snowball effect, right? He's just had 20 more Vils all game, so he's just been really just, I don't know, he just played this one really nicely. He countered the FF really well, and then he just aged behind it and got himself a really good lead, so he just played that really intelligently. And it looks like Prinz will probably tap out any minute now. He's producing like 555 from 3 production facilities, whilst Prinz is just barely getting 1 unit out. Or 2 units out. And yeah, he's right on top of the fire pit now, so he can even just force these Vils off, and the attack dance is no longer working, so like this is half his eco just idle, and he's losing the fight. It's looking quite dire, not gonna lie. More musket riders popping, but they're going right in front of the musketeers, which is not where you want them. And then we see Jerry scouted out these Vils, so he's probably going to go raid those. And yeah, his only hope would be cures an insane micro or something, but even then, yeah, he just calls GG. That's game 1 going to Jerry. 1 second. There we go. And if we check the res graph, we are going to have the... Yeah, so 7... No, not 7k. No, it is 7k. 7k difference. And we got like an even KD ratio for Iro, which is not what you want versus Musketeers and Longbow. Forest Prowlers are just such premium units, as well as Musket Riders and Kanya Horsemen, that you kind of want to be trading really well, but he just didn't do so because he just had less stuff the entire game. So if we go to military population, yeah, he's just constantly outmassed all game long. His early H3 was slightly higher, but it was just too many unit shipments and he just didn't achieve anything with them. So, hang on. Yeah, GG. Can you check VSync is off and FPS is set to 144? Does it matter? Where's VSync even? It'll be game options, right? Oh no. VSync, my FPS is on 60. 60 not enough. Is it? Am I getting FPS drops or something? Got banned for 12 hours. Serves you right, son. Get schooled. Alright, let's go into game 2. So that was Jerry winning game 1. He's going to first pick on this map. I forgot what the map pool is. Okay, so it's Colorado. So Jerry first picked Spain. Understandable, really. It's a good Spain map. And Prinz counterpicks with Brit. Also understandable. It's a very good Brit matchup. So on this type of map where the hunts are a bit lower, it's probably not the worst matchup for Spain. But if Brit does some sort of VC boom and starts herding all these far hunts early on with VC manners all over the map, it can be quite tricky. But we'll have to see. Jerry only gathered... I'm not sure what his plan is. I think he's getting... Okay. Alright, so this is what he's doing. He was initially just going to build the house and then just gather for the age up and not build the TP. But after scouting this 90 wood, he's going to get his both wood crates and he's going to chop 10 wood. You can see he's chopped 6 already. 7 now. And this is chopped for another tree. Anyway. So he's just got to chop a little bit more, get the TP, and now he's got the house. So this is a really efficient start from Jerry. He hasn't had to chop anything at all but 10 wood. I don't like this TP location though, it's very exposed. But it's kind of just here, right? So you might as well just get it up rather than walking all the way over here. And he's scouting with the dog over here as well to try and find all the good treasures. We can see what he scouted. He scouted 80 coin. And this dog is probably going to come across this native scout as well at some point. But in the meantime, he's just going to go for this 80 coin. Meanwhile, Prinz, if we go to his perspective, he just went straight up here, found a wolf, which is actually a really good treasure. He does 12 damage versus... 12? Gosh, what is that math? It's 27 damage versus Guardians. I literally added them instead of times them. But yeah, he does 27 damage versus Guardians, and the Explorer does like 36. So it's almost the same DPS as the Explorer, which is really nice. Really underrated treasure, I have to say, and he'd get 60 food as well, and he took that really quickly. So that's just gonna snowball because he's gonna go from treasure to treasure to treasure quite quickly. So Jerry gets that 80 coin. He's got all the coin he needs to FF. Doesn't have to mine any coin, and he's also got the TP. So what he can do is just leave all vills on food throughout the entire duration of the early game. And just go straight to Fortress after going to Commerce Age, obviously. We see 1v1 ATP. I don't know if he will go ATP after getting an early TP. Probably not necessary, especially as the Brit player can steal one. As you can see, Brit just went for the initial 2 mana opening. And... okay, so there's a contestant over 110 coin. Big treasure. And he clicked first, but... I don't know, I think he clicked too early because the game didn't register the Guardian was dead, and then Jerry just goes in for the steal and gets 110 coin. And yeah, like, He could potentially do some sort of... Oh, he doesn't have it in deck, but he could have gone for like a capitalism sort of shipment play. But he hasn't gone for that, so... but Prinz does force him back. He has got the HP advantage, and he's got Big Man Buck. Jerry's trying to bring his War Dog back, but yeah. So he's aging up the tower, which is 200 coin, and the outpost wagon. And I suspect Brit will be doing the same thing. Yes, he is. And he's sending a forward Ville to build a manor, and then most likely build a barracks as well. And it's going to pay off because this TP is exposed. So if you kill that really early against Spain, it's going to be quite good for you. Jerry might even chop for a second TP, which is actually a good idea, because he knows this one's exposed, and he knows he's like got all the 200 coin ready to age up, so he's just going to build a second TP, and this one's not going to be killable because it's just so close to his base, and Prinz has to go all the way around, which is a lot of time. He's going to herd this one. He's herding really well, really early, quite needed against like such an aggressive opening. He could even put the nuclear clubman onto the TP already. And I would like to see Prinz start herding this hunt as well, just to get that under his TC. Brit is just so map dependent that they need as many hunts as they can get. So second TP does in fact go down. He's mining coin. I guess he just doesn't want to kill any of the animals, but unfortunately coin is not the resource he needs, but at least he's not killing any of these hunts and wasting food. So Brit is up much earlier, makes sense. Spain is up a little bit later, but it's still pretty decent age up time. So he drops the racks upon age up immediately. I think he's got hunting dogs. Yeah, he does, 0.92. And he's just going to train musketeers. He's got a very aggressive tower. And he might even just put that right on top of the... No, he's going to put it by his barracks just to defend it. So he's going to start sieging this TP with the Nutka and the Explorer. I'd probably send the dog, the wolf, just to explore the map down here, see if there's any treasures, see if there's any hunts to be herded towards your base, you know, that sort of thing. So we see standard Brit build, 700 wood into 5 Ville. Muskets built upon age up, and Jerry's just going to age 3 with the Adventurer, which I think is the 8 crossbowmen. And he's gone for the standard 700 coins, 700 wood. I suspect he will go 5 Ville next. Oh, he goes 8 pikemen. Okay, and he drops a barracks immediately. The good thing about this 2 TP start is that you can ship 2 H2 shipments in transition, and then still have a shipment upon fortress. So he might even go 5 Ville as well. He's still got like 5 houses to build and some muskets to train, and he's trained 5 dogs, so he's just going to get the XP by the time he hits fortress for another shipment almost. So you can see, just look at this XP curve and the TP as well. Like he is even going 5 Villes, and he'll have a shipment ready just as the age is up, so it's going to work out really perfectly for him. And I suspect he'll go 2 Falcons first because he shipped the 8 pikemen in transition. Prinz is coming in for a push, but it's not going to do much because there's 8 bow and a potential Minutemen threat. So he knows he's aging, right? Because you're getting Spain, right? So he wants to do some sort of damage, but there's nothing you can really do. He does get 1 Ville. Jerry is only on 22 Villes, but he's just going to have so much tempo. He's going 5 Lancers first, which I think is odd. If you go 8 pikemen, I feel like you want to go 2 Falcons first, but I guess 5 Lancer works as well. Pikes over rods, yeah, I think in this situation he wants siege, but I think either works. Plus, if you got 8 pikes, you got more surface area to cover your Falcons. You just got one extra unit, right? So it's easier to block. It's like why I sometimes ship 12 pike over 9 rods, because you just got more units to block, which is important when it comes to defending falconets. These pikemen are being forced to go around the other way, and Jerry's sort of baiting Prinz in here. Actually, he's like sort of keeping him here, like close enough to be like keep him interested. But then once these 5 Lancers pop, He's just gonna get cleaned up. Like, he's got enough infantry to thin out the muskets, whilst the lancers kill them as well. And there's no sort of hussars being added from Prinz. He has he has got enough muskets to one-shot the lancers, which is really nice. But he's even gonna get like the cover mode pikes on the flank as well, and 5 skirms popping soon as well. So he's gonna get cleaned up here, I think. Yeah, even the cover mode pike snaring, like he's got him fully snared. Even the damage of the war dogs is absolutely insane. It's probably Spain's best unit actually, because they just have so much DPS. They're obviously doing melee damage, so they attack twice as fast. So you can essentially say they're doing 44 damage. And they cost 75 food, and they have almost 200 HP, so it's just a really insane unit. And they didn't die for such a long time. He had to focus the lancers. So yeah, Jerry's trading really well. 4 lancers are on the way now, so he's just really forcing the issue here. I wonder if Prinz has got a stable. Damn, look at these reinforcement batches. He's got 6 muskets in queue. He's got 3 hussars in queue, and he's going to have like... I don't know if he's going to prioritise the huss over the muskets, but we'll have to see. He's going for the huss over the musk, which I think is a good idea, because you're going to expect more skirmishers and lancers potentially, or falconets. So Jerry's got, what, 5 skirms, he's got 5 more in queue. He doesn't have a market, he hasn't got any market upgrades, as you can see. These guys are just gathering at the base rate. So yeah, it's quite all in, but the thing is with the TP Spain, you just have so much momentum. And your shipment curve has been really good on, it's much better on DE, so if you combine all that together, then it's quite scary. Quite a scary civ overall. So yeah, Jerry's just trying to catch all the muskets so Prinz can't mass them with this superior eco. Jerry just wants to keep trading as much as possible versus low numbers of musk. If he was against 50 musk all together with like only 4 lancers and then like 20 skirms, oof, big catch by the way. The 5 huss train catches 5 skirms, but he's losing his 10 to 15 musk down here. So it's not the end of the world for Jerry, but it's nice to pick up by Prinz anyway. I wonder if he's going to try and catch any like shipment coming as well. And yeah, like he had like 15-20 muskets there, and he only killed 2 lancers out of that entire exchange, so that's a really good trade for Jerry. We see 700 coin being shipped to the TC, thank God. I thought it was going to be to the tower at some point, but no. We see a batch of 1 rod. Beastly rod gets taken out. And yeah, Jerry's in a very exposed position here. He's like sending crossbows to raid. He's got his armies like not even together. These crossbows should really come back. He just needs all his units together to just keep trading as well as possible. And now he's just cut off from his like potential reinforcements. He sort of overextended to kill those musketeers. Meanwhile, Prinz's FP has just nicely flanked the army. And the bows are coming back. These hussars aren't pathing the best, but they're still getting good damage and snare onto the Spanish units. Muskets do go melee, but Prinz is doing a nice job pulling back the huss out of the musket melee range, and the muskets are just getting picked off. Also splitting off 2 cav to go pick off the crossbowmen. And yeah, these muskets and melee are just getting picked off by the Brit muskets, and the reinforcement rods are getting picked off by Prinz's reinforcements as well. So yeah, I think Jerry, I'm not sure who resigned there, but I think Jerry called it. But yeah, because he's just going to get completely cleaned up. Like, these rods are going to get all picked off, these bows and these skirmishers are going to get picked off by the remaining hussars. So yeah, this was a really nice trap by Prinz, and it could have been like an overextension from Jerry just to kill those 15 musk. But yeah, he could have like sent his reinforcements around the back lines, I guess, but that would have been take longer, but at least they wouldn't get cut off. So yeah, I don't know, he shouldn't have split off those bows as well. He just needed everything together because he was so exposed. But I assume that was 1-1 Prinz, but who knows? If math doesn't add up at the end, then we can tell that goes to Jerry, but I don't see why Prinz would resign there. So Like Jerry's on 29 vils, Prinz is on 46 with decent res banked and units queued up. So yeah, I assume Prinz won that game. And if you go to the post game, you can just check the resources, outgathered by 5k in like an 11-minute game. Just shows the power of Brits eco. And the villager line, yeah, you can just see it's just like 45 vils to 29. And if we see the military unit population, Prinz took a really horrible trade, but then like he remastered a little bit, and then he took a really good trade here, despite losing the muskets. But these are like H3 units, so overall it's a good trade for Brit because you just got way better eco, and then a horrible trade here as well. So the big trade at the start didn't seem to matter too much. Let's go into game 3. So scores 1-1. 1 second. Make rods great again. They're pretty good now, actually. They have like 11 attack in colonial. So okay, so we see Prinz first picks India here on Alaska. He spawns in the top of the map. He has the normal 400 wood, 200 food start, as the crates are fixed on D. And yeah, so he's to send one monk one way, send one monk the other way. Usually when I play India, I like to have like one monk traveling alongside the other. So if you find a treasure like this, you would take less HP. Or treasure like this, you can get it with both monks. But I guess he just wants to cover as much ground as possible. Meanwhile, if you're Jerry, he's playing Dutch. Looks like he's just going for the house start. He's not going to do any fancy market stuff. No early hunting dogs, anything like that, which I like. I like saving the wood crate for the bank. And he's going to get this 90 food. He could potentially 14 vil, but I prefer 15 vil with Dutch. Almost always, unless you get a lot of treasures. Maybe with this 80 coin he could, but he's already over-gathered coins, so maybe not. We see Prinz has scouted the 80 coin actually, so I wonder if Jerry's going to get there in time. Oh, I don't think he's seen the Indian monks yet. But I think Prinz is going to start it. Or maybe not. Maybe he saw the envoy. Oh, okay, so Jerry does start it, and Prinz, yeah, he suspects it, so he's just waiting nearby. The envoy does scout him, so I think Jerry's just going to pull out there, like not even finish the treasure. And he's just going to get out of there. Prinz might even just start it now. So yeah, Jerry just pussying out, not sticking the treasure like a man. He's going to chase him with one monk and just take the treasure with the other. Not sure what I think about that, but I guess it's okay. Because of the area damage, you kill both of them quite quickly. Stuns one, gets them close together, so it maximises the area damage onto both walls rather than just one. And he's doing a really good job of blocking the hero, actually. Look at this. Impressive, actually. Like, also, you're against Jerimuno, who's likely to tilt, so that's probably going to just tilt him a little bit as well. So yeah, that was a nice play by Prinz. He just prevented any attempt of a steal. Which is really good because 80 coin is actually really valuable for Dutch. It's not that valuable for India at this point in the game, but for Dutch, it makes it easier to get like 15th vil queued or like the vil queued up after building the bank in earlier colonial. Sometimes it can be hard to build a bank, build it, and then get 100 coin ready for when you age up for the vil. But if you get 80 coin, it's quite easy. So that's quite nice to deny that little thing. We see distributivism and a full land deck, just a 1v1 land. So we see a pretty standard deck. Sepoy heavy, of course, 9 Sepoy, 14 Sepoy. Prinz has never been a sort of Zambarak player. So he's even got like FI capabilities, but I'm not sure if we'll see that from Prinz. He's quite an aggressive player, so we'll have to see. Jerry, interesting, he has Fish Market. The reason why he's gone for Fish Market over a rendering plant is that he's just H2 is stacked with Dutch. You want all the bank cards, you want improved warships, you want caravels, you want the infantry cards, and you want the wood crates and the unit shipments. So, interesting that he doesn't have like CM and stuff in there, but I guess it's not that useful versus India anyway. And you probably don't need it versus India. But yeah, this is an interesting deck. I wouldn't expect warship combat versus India. Oh well, I would, but Prince's India's never been known for going water, so. So we see Prince aging up at like 310 or something, or 320. Meanwhile, Jerry's almost up. He's over gathering wood, but he might be just gathering for the market. He did get quite good treasures in H1, so never mind, he just gathered 50 wood, which also makes sense, because then you'll have an extra 100 wood. So if you think about it, the age upwards 400 wood. You need 350 of that for the bank, so you're going to have 50 left over, and he's also got 50 left over here, so he's just going to have wood for the bank, for the market as well as the bank, which is really nice. And now he's just stacking food for the second bank, and he scouts the aggro fort, and he's going to start punching the Ville and be as annoying as possible. And he's even sending his hero to go attack the Ville as well. Meanwhile, Prince has just gone for a market. No consulate rush stuff as of yet. So he's just going to get all this market text queued up. So he's got hunting eagles, and now he's getting, what's this called, blanket filters. And he'll probably go for civil servants after that. So we see a native scout, 2 monks coming to deflect the envoy. And now he's going to start picking off the native scout. He should put the Ville back on the aggro, or punch the envoy, either one works. And you see him stacking wood. Okay, never mind. I thought he was going to go for the consulate, but he's just requeued the Ville. He's now attacking the Ville again. And he's forced to pull it back, otherwise he's afraid of losing it. Just Jerry doing a really good job of delaying the age up as long as possible. And now we see second bank coming down, 700 wood coming in, and he's going to drop a third bank. So yeah, he's going to pick off the envoy, which is nice, and he could potentially pick off the hero as well. He can just like keep him here until the 2 sepoy arrive. And this age up time is actually super late for India on DE. Like Jerry's like, he knows India's up at like 510, like he's not even up yet. He's up at 510 or 511. And he's just free to go 5 banks, pretty much, against any sort of India play. So we see a barracks coming down. He wants to be safe, which makes sense. Like, Prince could still ship 5 sepoy and make 5. And obviously he ages up with 2 and go for the 12 sepoy rush, because he knows he's just far behind. But, yeah. So he goes for big trickle first. I'm not sure I like that. It looks like he's going for big trickle, then 700 coin, judging by his macro. Looks like he's going for like an FF. Meanwhile, Jerry is going for 4 bank, 5 skirm FF, most likely. I would even TC fire these monks, actually. Like, you just want to kill them now and keep them in your base, because they can heal up and they tank so much skirmisher fire that you just want to kill them before the sepoys are shooting you as well. So it's nice to kill those bad boys early, especially if they come right under the TC. Just got to make sure you kill them though, otherwise they just hit each other back up. So yeah, you can see Prince is stacking for the age up. As the problem with India on this map, your shipment curve is very bad. For those who don't know, India gets shipments 8% slower than other civs. So for example, like France or Brit would get them at 100%, and India would get them at 108%, so they just get shipments slightly slower because they get a Ville per shipment. And with no TP, no church that they can build for XP trickle, they do struggle to get any sort of XP coming in. And you can see Prince has just abandoned on the idea of 700 coin. He's just going for 300 export now, because he just knows he can't. He's just, by the time the coin comes in, he's going to have resources to age almost, so it's just going to be a waste. And he's probably going to go for auto consulate most likely. So with the bear, he scouts skirms in 10 skirms in base, or however many this is, 9 skirms in base and 5 banks. I think he scouted 5 bank. Yeah, so he scouted the 5th one going up. So he knows Dutch is aging a bit slower to H3, so he might be able to make something happen like early H3 with Gurkhas and the Mahout or 2 or 3. We'll have to see. He's aging up with the Charminar Gate, which is the Mahout plus the Mansabda Wonder, so that's the right wonder in my opinion in this matchup, because it's all about who has like the bigger skirmisher mass. And yeah, we can see Jerry's queuing up 8 pikes and cancelling them most likely. Just gonna keep doing that. It's a nice play in case he just gets pushed by Sours and Gurkhas. But in this case, he might actually get pushed by Gurkhas and 1 Mahout. Like, if he ships 8 Mahouts, if he ships 8 skirms, pushes with the Mahouts, he could potentially make something happen, but 1k wood. He's training Halbs now. But yeah, I guess after seeing 5 Gurkhas and 2 monks, he's just going to be like, okay, India's probably aging. And yeah, he sees him hit up now, and he's got the Mahout pushing him already. And this Mahout's going to do so much damage, actually. Wow, the Halbs pop out just in time. That's a really good choice to make the Halbs. And yeah, India just has to back off. He just doesn't have units to even damage this at all. He just delete to the Mahout for free. Kind of pushed too early there. Like, Dutch could have gone 9 Reuters even. Like, going 1k wood just seems wrong to me in this sort of situation. Because you already have a barracks and a stable and you have 5 banks, so you might as well just buy the wood you need and just get 9 Reuters and be extra safe. And if he's aging, you just push out. So but he's used it nicely. He's got veteran Hussar. He's got a 2nd stable going. He's got all the houses he needs for a little while, and he's going for Hal Pass actually. And Prinz, he's getting the Otto Huss, and he also got the 4 vills from the consulate, and he has all the H1 marker upgrades, and he's got the 2nd H food upgrade as well. So we see Sambrax in queue. He's got a barracks and a stable up as well as the aggro fort. And if we look at the ecos, India's on 36 vills plus 2 trickles. Dutch is on 28 vills plus 5 banks, so I'd definitely favour the Dutch in terms of economic potential at this point. And also his unit composition is quite scary as well, because Prinz is going to need a bunch of Zambaraks ASAP. He's even going double stable Huss, which is actually a really good decision, because what India player is just going to go up to H3 and start spamming Zambaraks? Like, he's only got like, what? There's like 10 skirm there. He's shipping 8 as well. Big Jerome just fucking up this ville. And we see, oof, big raid. So we can start playing this slowly because there's stuff going on everywhere. The hero scouts the vills on that mine. We've got Zams trying to deflect the Huss raid, but there's enough skirms to one-shot the Zams. So this is just like a really nice timing attack. And we also see the aggro fort being taken down by the Halbs. This has been really smart by Jerry, actually. So he's pressuring the resources, plus he's sieging the aggro fort. So he's just pressuring all the places where Prinz is vulnerable at the same time. And there's not a whole lot India can do, that Prinz can do about it, because he just hasn't got the mass to deal with it. And yeah, the hustle on the Yumi, the skirms are sort of just walking in, not doing anything, trying to snipe Zams, but they're just getting picked off by Yurumi. We see Disciplined Zambrax coming out, and we might even see... Okay, so we see the Huss and the Minutemen coming out. And there's just so many Hussars coming across the map. He's got like 17 Huss with 2 more queued up. And Prinz only has like 5 Zams in queue, and then that's it. He has potentially got the Auto Minutemen, but he still doesn't have enough export for it. And this is where you just want 9 Zambrax in deck. Like, 9 Sepoys just not going to cut it. He's going to ship it, but like, Sepoys just get picked off by skirms, while Zams can just shoot the Huss from behind the Gurkha line. These Zams are going to pop out. These skirms of like, there's just skirms and Huss and Halbs surrounding all of these Zams, so they're just not going to survive that long. Almost, these skirms are almost enough to one-shot even, so... And yeah, Vils are going down, Vils are getting picked off by the Hussars. We see another stable coming up in the back, and we just see India just going all the way down to 20 Vils. Meanwhile, Dutch is just spamming from like 3 production facilities with 5 banks and 33 Vils, so... It's only a matter of time before India resigns. The Sepoy pop is probably... He's expecting it to do wonders. Just hope Jerry goes AFK and this midi Sepoys kill everything, but I just don't see it, and neither does Prinz, so that's GG. That's 2-1 to Jerry. Well played to Jerry. That was a really intelligently played, I think. Let me just update the score. There we go. So that's 2-1 Jerry. That was game 3. And if we look at the eco difference, like Dutch is probably just gonna be out gathering by a lot. Like it just scales so hard, right? They're up so fast, and they have like 4 banks by the time India's up, and then it just scales even harder because he gets 5 banks super fast, and he's just getting market upgrades. And yeah, Prince's eco is just not that good because his eco relies on getting a Vil per shipment, and he just doesn't have the XP curve to get the Vils in. So that's why I think that matchup's quite hard on that map, because there's no like TP potential or stuff like that. So yeah, let's go into game 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I just clicked. Gosh. Whoopsie. I think I just clicked game 3 again. Yeah, I did. Whoopsie. Okay, my apologies. Let's go into game number 4. And see what sort of matchups they picked for us on this map, which I think is... it's great. Central Plains. Okay, so we saw this matchup with Perez and Prinz as well, where Prinz just picked French and Perez picked Spain, and Prinz did end up losing that one. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. See if Jerry goes for ATP or not. Prinz going for the starting TP. This is like the traditional one you go for. Where's the War Dog though? Oh, he's nearby. So he scouted this, I think. And he's just going to start bullying the HP on the hero. And Jerry's just going to take the 60 wood right under Prince's nose. So I suspect Jerry might even chop for a TP unless he's going ATP. And yeah, he's got the snare off. And yeah, this hero is just going to go down immediately. This is why you want to get the pass down the bottom or the top. You just want to try and mind game the Spanish Explorer, because you just know he's going to try and bully you, because you know he knows you're going to go for the TP. You do have a native scout to pull away, but the dog can block you, and the dog has faster speed than the hero, so you can always just catch up eventually. And you can even pull trick the hero with the dog, and yeah, the hero goes down at 1 minute into the game, and it's just like, what treasures did Prinz get in the end? Like, what did he get? He got nothing. He just crack-shotted this 75 coin and then just got nothing. So Spain can just get literally every single treasure on the map. If he doesn't delete his War Dog. Rip. His balls got snipped. But that's just unfortunate. You should always tank with the hero. In all situations, because the dog just has so much DPS. And we have 2 Vils out here. Why is there 2 Vils out here? Interesting. Anyway, so we see 16 village up, which is not ideal considering he just got a 65 or 75 food treasure. What did he get actually? Yeah, he just got 75 food and he didn't chop for the TP, so I think these 2 Vils just walking out here just caused him to age up a Vil later than normal, which is actually quite a big deal when going ATP, because you just want to get all those ATP slammed down ASAP. In the meantime, Prinz is aging up with 14 Vils, which is normal, and he's waiting for his Explorer to get 100 HP before going to rescue him. He's getting him now, and he's probably going to try and steal a second TP, or maybe try and play a bit more aggressive. We'll have to see. We see a forward Ville coming out from Jerry. I wonder if he's going H2. It looks like he is, judging by his macro, and this is just going to the builder TP. So we have 2 Villes plus the Explorer going to build TPs. If we go to Prince's perspective, he went for the market. He could potentially drop a second TP and deny the 4 TPs if he wanted to, but kind of depends on what Prince's strat's going to be. And we see Jerry stacked for the 4th TP as well. I wonder if Prince is going to try and get this ASAP, but no, it doesn't look like it. But yeah, Jerry's got the resources to build that 4th TP, and that could have been denied. So this Ville's being bullied by the Native Scout. It was only built to 500 HP, and he's going to finish that off with the hero later. It's quite a smart play. He could have lost the Ville if he just tried to stick on that TP, but he's just going to send his hero all the way over there, and it's not like Prince can siege that down. He aged up with 500 food, and he's sending 700 coin. It's quite nice, but you lack defense, and if Prince goes for any H2 play, it's going to be quite hard to hold, and he's opening with the barracks and 4 Villes. He's getting steel traps immediately, just the standard French build, and he's getting 2 houses with the age up wood, along with the barracks. Oh, excuse me. So he's going to follow up with 700 wood next for a second barracks, most likely, and a stable, and houses. And we see Jerry's just actually very well macro despite going ATP. I guess the 500 food age up helps him a lot. But he hasn't got a tower, so he's got to be like careful to not get nuked by some sort of H2 play. He even scouts the forward barracks, and 5 musketeers are coming out. I'm going to play this a bit slower because stuff is happening now. And he's going to go finish off that TP like I said before. And Prince doesn't scout the Philosopher Prince age up, but he doesn't see a tower in the vicinity, so he either expects a proxy or the 500 food age up. So, and you can see Jerry garrisoning just 9 Villes, which is enough to 2-shot a mask, which is just really, really efficient. And the muskets aren't going to finish off the Villes, he's just going to put the one being targeted into the TC. So Jerry is just like doing a really good job of not overreacting to the 5 musketeers and garrisoning everything, and not losing Villes at the same time. So we see 700 coin coming out and now 700 woods. He's probably going to go for a stagecoach sort of play, but I really don't think he should do that just yet, especially when you see H2 French. He's even stacking for the stagecoach, but I just really think it's a poor idea. He might be just stacking for dogs and stuff, but who knows. And he's trying to get those barracks up, but that Ville's going to go down. The second one might go... I know, he pops it back. So denying this Rax is actually really huge, especially with no tower. He has to build the Rax down the bottom here, which he's doing so now. He is also housed, so these Villes should start building houses. And this hero needs to get back to the TC ASAP. To start training dogs and doing some sort of DPS with the hero against the musketeers. This Ville's going to go down as well, just trying to get this barracks up. And this barracks has been like almost denied twice, so it's just like, if you consider Spain's eco is not that great to begin with, imagine losing like 3 or 4 Villes just to get that up. He lost 3 Villes, I think, due to this pressure. He still has 5 Villes in, and he can still potentially follow up with stagecoach, but losing 3 Villes that early against just 10 musketeers is just a big deal. If we go to Prince's perspective, he's gone 4 Villes, 700 wood, 700 coin, standard French build, and he's starting to spam from 3 production facilities. And he's going to, even just 1 huss is going to be really nice. He's aging up with the 8 bows, but if you've got 1 huss snaring, then the musketeers can catch up. So what I do as Prince is just hide this hussar, and just make sure the TC doesn't kill it, because then the bows just have free reign. He could call minimum, obviously, but just getting that snare off initially. And then there's the bows. This one hussar is going to come into snare, or not. He's just going to retreat. He suspects Minutemen, which makes sense. 1 hussar legitimately isn't enough, I guess. So, and he does have res for Minutemen. He managed to gather enough res to actually get res for Minutemen instead of being idled the entire time. So. But Prince doesn't know that, right? He doesn't know what his resources are, so it's safe to assume that he has res for Minutemen. Prinz is going for an 8 Hussar timing. So what he's done is gone the standard build, then shipped 3 Hussar. He's going to get back to 5 Huss. And he hasn't shown any more units actually. He's just got the initial 10 to 15 Musk plus the 1 Hussar. And then nothing else. So Jerry could think he's aging as well. You've got a batch of 1 Musketeer. And we see 5 Lancers being shipped first. Honestly, he'd get away with probably shipping Spanish Gold first and relying on dogs and Minutemen, because you can just buy back the hero for 100 coin, train 5 dogs. Oh, don't lose Vills. Rip. So there's another Vill going down. He doesn't have a market, unfortunately, and he should be shipping something else. But these 5 Lancers are going to be nice, actually. But is it going to be enough? That's the problem. They're just fighting SARS right now. And he spent all his resources on muskets instead of the Minutemen, so he's just down. He trained 3 muskets instead of getting the 6 Minutemen, when obviously the 6 Minutemen would be way more impactful here. Prinz is doing a good job cleaning this up before the Spanish mass gets out of control, and the H2 units are training well versus the H2 Spanish muskets and stuff like that, just because he's so heavily outmassing him. We see 2 shipment stacks even, and Jerry just popping out Vills to shoot muskets, but it's just, this is sort of... Okay, we see it Rage resign. Unfortunately, he just pops out all the Vills, deletes them, deletes the TC. Just typical Jerry stuff, like where he just randomly tilts and just deletes everything whilst having 2 shipment stacks. But that was a nice timing by Prinz. He knows that ATP is a bit slower to H3, and he hasn't got a tower as well, so he can really make this H2 pressure work out very well into his favour. And you can see the resource difference. It's like a 9-minute game and he's out gathering by 3k. So, I mean, you can check the shipment graph all you want, but if they're getting picked off one by one, then, like, if you think about it, only being 1/2 shipments ahead is not enough to justify the ATP. Yeah, GG. So that is 2-2. So we're going to go into the deciding game on this series, so game number 5. And that is going to be played on Florida, I believe. Florida's the last map, I think. Yeah, it's Florida. And let's see what civs they've brought out for the last game. So we see, of course, the classic Sweden game number 5. We see Jerry spawning in the top of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Swedes. It's always the best civ to pick in like the match point. And in the south of the map, we see Prinz playing the Hoods, aka the Iroquois, aka the Haudenosaunee, aka the Houdanese. And is he going to go for a dock this time? Please tell me he's going for a dock. It's a much stronger start. No. This is teasing me, Prinz. You're like teasing my bollocks right now. Just build the dock, man. What is this scouting the coastline? Okay, so he is going to go for the TP. Okay. What treasure did he get there, actually? That seemed quick. 35 wood. Okay. So he's got like a 50-minute TP going down. Meanwhile, Jerry just went for the classic 2 torp opening. And with these torps on the mine and the tree, you can actually even slowly get resources for hunting dogs if you wanted to. But probably not worth it, because why would you get hunting dogs when you can just get another torp, which is like twice the vills? And we see 80 wood. With this torp slowly gathering 0.05, never mind. I thought it was a bit higher, but he's going to even chop for a 3rd torp. And I wonder if he's going to place it on his starting mine again. I guess he does, because it's just too much walking time. And let's see if he does the math correctly. So that's what? He needs 55 wood, and he's gathered 58. Yep. Easy maths, quick maths. So yeah, he chops for the 3rd torp, and he's got 3 sheep to potentially excel his age up, so you can just cancel out the 55 wood he chopped by gathering those 3 sheep. Meanwhile, Prinz is going to do the same thing with the, 70 wood he chopped. He's just going to eat the goats and just try and age 14 vills. I don't think he got hunting dogs. Personally, I think that's too greedy, especially against a civ like Sweden, where you want to put on the pressure. But the thing is, this is quite a good Sweden map, because you got like 2 mines quite close to your TC. You obviously got the starting one, and then he has 2 mines at the back of his base. So it's just like, you could get potentially you can get 4 torps in each mine, right? So you can like almost max torps on these 5 mines. You can actually max torps on these 5 mines if you wanted to, and just not have any more map control needed. Obviously you don't want to do that necessarily, but if you're scared of like being rushed or something like that, then it'd be nice to have them quite close and defendable, especially on the back. We see Jerry come across 100 XP. It's going to be nice for a shipment curve. Sweden do need like a good shipment curve to get all their cards in, like 700 wood, ironworks, blueberries, leather cannons, even team infantry HP if you wanted to. But yeah, early on Sweden need a lot of cards to get their boom going. Well, they need 700 wood mostly, but then like after that it's kind of like adaptation. We see him getting 40 food. He's getting gang saw and transition, which actually I quite like this decision, because your torps are gathering most of the food anyway, so you just had most of your fields on wood. Meanwhile, we see Prinz. He goes for a tribal marketplace, so he's getting hunting dogs. And judging by he's built the marketplace despite having 100 coin, he's probably going to go for some sort of FF play again. And we just saw him pick up 40 coin as well. So, and he's transitioning more people onto the tribal marketplace. So I think he's going to go for that sort of FF opening. Meanwhile, Jerry's just torp booming. He's torping both the back mines immediately, and he's done a nice job of herding the hunt towards the torp. So this torp is gathering 0.75 food per second instead of the traditional. These are all gathering hunts as well, so he's done a good job there. I think this traditional was like 0. I forgot actually. Oh well, it's like 0.4 or something like that. But yeah, it's like almost double. So we see, this is nice actually, just getting the XP from killing the hero. We see the Warheart being not mid-map, not defensive, but it's like sort of in front of his base on his side of the map. And we're going to see this Explorer get picked off. I wonder if he's going to pull back Blowgunner. Nope. Blowgunner goes down. And we see Jerry actually aged up with a tower and 200 coin. And he's going to start training Caroleans. He ships 700 wood first, and he's also got a lot of food coin stacked because of the 200 age up and having the initial 3 torp start. And he's sending vills out to torp further out on the map, which is good. He didn't scout anything, I think. Yeah, he doesn't know this Warheart, where the Warheart is, if it is a Warheart. And we see Ironworks coming down. I guess he doesn't really care, right? Like what Prinz is doing. And he's also adding a stable for any potential ANers, like AN Tomahawk pushers or anything like that, or AN Akanya. Now he's doing a good job herding this hunt into the torps, and it's 0.34 by the way, and then with the hunts it's 0.75, so it's literally like double. So it's just really important to start herding onto your torps to get maximum efficiency. So we see Prinz aging with a messenger. He just went with the same build he went with in game 1, where he just goes the 800 res crates, then 5 vil, and now he's going 1200 res crates. Not sure about this. It's kind of slow versus Sweden, but if he gets like enough of these really strong units out, maybe he can just out trade Sweden. So maybe that's what his plan is. What? 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 So, what happened? I don't get it.
Hello. Befäl?
Can someone just explain to me what the fuck just happened? What the fuck? Did Prinz set his pitbull Somali, aka Sompu Konku, on him or something? Send him to his house? I'm so confused. Anyway, let's just go to the post game, which is completely irrelevant, but let's just carry on as though nothing happened. So I really liked Prince's sheep wall. He just like really blocks those carry and then Huss time push come into his base, making the big button tomahawk and the explorer able to hold that incredible push from Jerry. But yeah, Prince like microed out of this world in this sort of game. Like he managed to clean up all this stuff with just 0 units. Yeah. So yeah, Sweden's just gonna outgather slowly, but I wonder how much Prince paid Jerry to throw this game. But yeah, I guess Prince just played like an absolute beast because having 3 of these rather than 2 is just much better. Okay, so GG, I guess.